second, we were asking you who you think is going to replace Matt Lauer after the news broke yesterday that he's a harasser. He's apparently released a statement. We're going to get to that in just a second. But Ryan Seacrest, it's actually very tight. Ryan Seacrest.
Don't say that when you're referring to Matt Lauer. Don't say that it's very tight because.
Well, I'm talking about Ryan Seacrest because he's leading the way with 25% of the vote. But, Willie Geist and Ann Curry, Brian Williams, Michael Strahan, and the field also get 12. Oh, I'm sorry. The field is also at 25%. And 12% goes to Michael Strahan, Brian Williams, Ann Curry, and Willie Geist. And they only got one vote less than Ryan Seacrest in the field.
I think that it's funny when you watch all the things that have come out about Matt Lauer and the skeletons that they're digging out of the closet. Like there was an interview in which he's pestering Anne Hathaway about the fact
like Anne Hathaway.
That she
pester right there.
That she flashed her panties at a premiere getting out of a taxi, and he was asking her.
Oh, he
about
was?
that. Yeah, but these are all on camera interviews. Is it Pippa? Is it Pippa? Pippa Middleton, Kate Middleton's sister. She wore a dress to the wedding. Everybody talked about the dress. I talked about the dress. Everybody talked about the dress that Pippa Middleton wore. But
yes. I'm sorry. I had to remember who the hell you're talking about, but that's the prince's wife, right?
Her sister.
Her sister.
Yeah.
Who did she marry? Nobody important.
I don't know.
Okay, but it's Kate's
well, I'm sure
sister.
To her it's somebody important.
Yeah, well, of course. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be insensitive. But it's the Princess Kate's sister, Pippa. I remember.
Yeah, and he how he was making creepy comments to her. Like all these little tiny creepy comments have just come out of the woodwork for Matt Lauer. And it's when you string them together and you put them into one news article, you make him look like he's the biggest creep in the world when... You got to keep everything in perspective.
This guy is a creep. I heard he had a button under his desk. Like he, of course, had a big office, right? The guy was the highest paid, person at NBC. So, he has this big office and he would invite, young women in. And then he had a button under his desk because the door would close behind him and he could hit this button and the door would lock.
What?
No. And no one could come in. I'm not saying that no one could leave, but they said, I saw this on the Daily Mail yesterday. He had a button that he could hit for privacy. It would lock his door so no one could come in. So once, some of the allegations are apparently, and I haven't seen any of this, but this is the story going around, is that he would invite these young people that work at the network to come in, these young ladies, and he would lock the door and then he would start putting the moves on them. Yeah.
Weird.
Did you hear about Katie Couric?
Yeah, I heard that she said that he pinches her ass all the time.
Yeah, here's
you co-hosted the Today Show with Matt Lauer for 15 years. What is Matt's most annoying habit?
He pinches me on the ass a lot.
Wow. I don't have a problem with that.
God, Andy Cohen. So that's from 2012. So that's a long time ago. So obviously he's been a flirtatious guy for a long time. This dude's been married. He's got a family. And, he's been messing around this whole time.
Did you hear what Geraldo said?
No, I did not.
Geraldo came out and he was actually, and I don't know, we always talk about this on this radio show. Is the fact that the endorsement from the person that you don't want the endorsement from.
Geraldo, the guy that was going to find the vault. Whose vault was it that he was going to find?
Geraldo
He's a big liar.
Was defending Matt Lauer on Twitter yesterday, saying that he's a great guy, highly skilled and empathetic with guests, a real gentleman to my family and me, and that people should just realize that news is a flirty business, and it seems like there's a current epidemic of sexual harassment allegations that may be criminalizing courtship and conflating with predation. I guess Garrison Keillor he brings into it
predation.
What
does that mean?
Meaning,
like as a predator.
Now flirtation is not going to exist anymore. It's only going to be predation. Because now, if you say anything that is seen as flirtatious, that will automatically label you as a predator.
Okay. That's kind of scary. But I guess
that is why.
Can we not have any fun anymore?
Jeremy, you give me a hard time all the time of being a jerk to my coworkers. I'm not a jerk. I just act like they don't exist, okay?
Because you don't want
to. And the reason why
be a predator.
is I don't want to open a can of worms that doesn't need to be open. Colleagues that go on a business trip together. And
men and women.
Men and women, men and men. Anything goes in today's society, right? Women and women.
Sure, whatever.
Your colleague says to you the words,
you and I have gone on business trips together. We've even shared a room.
You want to come up to my hotel room? Is that going to be terminology that is now gone away? Because some of the accusers for Matt Lauer, now Matt Lauer has come out and he has said this morning through his mouthpiece Savannah that, yes, he did do some of the things that he's been accused of, but some of the other things were either misconstrued or you don't know the full details on.
And one of the things was with a coworker in Sochi, right, when they were there for the Olympics.
He was asking, he would ask to come up to the hotel room. Now, if it's true that the guy's got a button underneath his desk that locks his door, then possibly, yes, considering the source, Matt Lauer should not be asking anybody to come up to this hotel room. But if he was asking somebody to come up to his hotel room and maybe he just wanted to chill and watch a basketball game or something because he was tired of covering curling.
How do you ever get tired of curling?
Sorry. Maybe he was tired.
Curling.
What's an Olympic winter Olympic sport you can get tired of? Maybe he was tired of
the cross-country skeet shoot or whatever it is.
You don't like that
I think
one?
it's real boring after a while.
How about just cross-country skiing? At least the shooting's got some shooting in it.
Yeah. Where they shoot
cross-country. He's tired of covering cross-country skiing. He wants to watch a basketball game. He invites you up to his room. Matt Lauer comes to you and says, hey, Jeremy, you want to come into my room?
Yeah, I mean, I have no problem with that. I mean, I don't think he's going to harass me.
But if you were a female.
Well, yeah, that's probably a little bit different. I mean, and it depends on, the relationship. Why can't you just go down to the sports bar and watch the game? Or, or if you're going to go over work stuff, why can't you just go down to the business center or go down to the, a meeting room and do things? Listen, if you're a guy and you travel with women, it's probably just a good idea not to invite them to your room.
That's what I'm getting at.
Unless
that's what I'm getting at.
Unless, it's applicable on both ends and everybody wants to play.
I've heard a lot of people complaining, and they're all men, online about this concept of like, whoa, what I can't ask a woman to come up to my hotel room? No, it's a bad practice, okay? Like,
especially if you're married.
Freaking common sense in
my
this,
number
please.
one thing is I'm not going to do that because I'm married and I don't want to have to explain to my wife why I'm asking one of my coworkers to come up to my hotel room.
Let's just say,
I wouldn't go to her room.
Let's just say you, me, and Suzanne, we go on a business trip together because we all work for the radio station. We go to a radio convention, which used to be drug-fueled...
alcohol-fueled with some drugs on the side.
Yeah.
All harmless stuff.
Whorehouses back in the 80s. It's a little different now. It's very boring. But you say, if you and I are sharing a room and Suzanne's got her own room and you say to her, hey, you want to come up to our hotel room? I'm immediately, the warning alarm is sounding, okay? And I'm looking at you and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? I don't want to be put in that position. Even though we're all good friends, even though everybody knows that nothing's going to happen.
It's a little different if you and I are sharing a room and then we have another coworker say, hey, we're having drinks up here. Do you want to come up, have a drink before we go to dinner?
No. Nobody's allowed in my hotel room.
Okay.
From here on out.
There you go. All right. Well, maybe I would say in the past we would have probably invited people up. Right. But I think moving forward, you're right. Yeah, that should be the new policy. Nobody.
Never.
Yeah, nobody.
Never invite anybody up to my hotel room. It should just be recognized and accepted from here on out, okay? That if you are on a business trip and you're with a colleague, man or woman, it doesn't matter, and you say, hey, you want to come up to my hotel room? Don't do that anymore, okay? Do things only in common areas. That's why Courtyard by Marriott made a very inviting lobby for you to go and sit and have conversations in. So there's no blurring of the lines of, hey, do you want to come up to my hotel room?
Go ahead, Vic. Brian, sorry, it's Brian.
It's a little bit extreme for my personal liking, but do you guys remember everybody freaking out about Mike Pence's rule of not having dinner with other women?
Yes. I don't know if you maybe missed it. I think this was brought up earlier this week.
Yeah, what did you say about Mike Pence, Jeff?
I read something online over the weekend. Somebody said, yeah, everybody used to make fun of Mike Pence for not wanting to be alone in a room with a woman. Now he looks like a freaking genius. And I forget.
Seriously?
I think it was Matt that said that online.
Matt Lauer?
Not Matt Lauer.
Oh.
That's a hell of a laugh you got there, Brian. I love that laugh.
Yeah, I when Jeff brought this up, I'm like, no, I didn't know anything about this. And but now you kind of take a look at it. Obviously, he's been in a situation before, maybe where he was accused of something he didn't do, and now he's got a new policy. It's like, I'm not even going to be alone with a woman unless she's my wife.
Yeah.
I either look a woman in the eyes or look down at their feet now when I'm addressing them in the workplace.
Yeah, seriously.
I don't want to be. I mean, I feel vulnerable. I do. I feel vulnerable to any accusations, and I'm not going to even allow myself to be put in that position. So people that are complaining about, like, well, how come I can't ask a woman? If I'm just asking somebody to go up to my hotel room, it could be just for conversation. Well, don't do it then. Have a conversation in the parking lot.
I was surprised at all the women that wrote in, guys, and said that, you know what, yeah, I'm not going to find it harassment if somebody invites me up to their hotel room, because we could be just watching TV together. We could be going over stuff for a meeting that we have. But my thing is, why even take that chance? Like you said, use the Marriott's lobby.
Very inviting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's getting very loud where you're at, Brian, so we'll let you go. All right. Thanks, buddy.
And
All right, man. You guys have a good day.
They sell beers at less than airport prices too, so that's good. It's nice to not have to pay $9.
What happens if you go downstairs, you do the meeting, you have the beers, and then she's like, "Hey, do you want to come up to my room and watch a movie?"
You say no. You say no.
Well, unless you're single.
But you think about it, and Amber brings this up online. She says, all you're doing is asking somebody a question. How is that sexual harassment?
It's not harassment unless your job is in jeopardy.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning on 93.3 KZOZ.